Okay. So, Plato talks about his beliefs through Socrates. He explains that because the soul is indestructible and unchangeable, it is immortal. Since he says the soul has no parts. The idea of recollection, for example, states that before we are born, we already have knowledge. But as soon as we're born, we lose that knowledge. As we get older, we recollect all the knowledge we had before we were born. Since our knowledge never goes away, it's pre-existent. And our knowledge is part of our mind, which is part of our soul. So since our soul is pre-existent, it is also immortal. Plato also believes that the soul doesn't need a body in order to function. He says that the body is what corrupts us. So that's another cause that he says that philosophers shouldn't be afraid of death, because they know their soul will live on afterwards. Another idea he talks about, or argument, is about opposites. He says that everything that has an opposite is generated from its opposite in a cyclical manner. Death has an opposite, which is life. Therefore, life is generated from death in a cyclical manner. Since the opposite of life is death, and what gives us life is the soul, he also says that because of that, the soul is immortal.
Yeah.
Going along with the whole opposite argument, on page 23, in the dialogue, Socrates says, "Nor can any other opposite which remains the same ever be or become its own opposite, but either goes away or is destroyed in the change." Like I said, the soul is an opposite of death, because the soul is alive. So the soul can never become death. Therefore, it is immortal. Thank you. So I kind of disagree with Plato and agree more with Aristotle, because I really believe that you need the body and the soul to function together. I don't believe that the soul can be immortal, because the soul goes hand in hand with the body. Now my question would be like, for Plato, where does our soul go? If it is immortal, where does it go? Does it does it just walk around, or what does it do, Thank you.
One of Aristotle's theories is one of the soul. He believes that the soul is a form of living creation. He also believes that there is 5 identities.
Wait, hold on, stop. Let me make sure how much time you're taking. Hold on. It's still recording. Could I read it off of it? Yeah, you can. Okay, and... Okay. Start whenever you're ready.
Hold up. I'm gonna start from the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
Aristotle believes that the body and the soul have to be coherent to each other, and for this reason he believes that the soul and the body are mortal. One of Aristotle's theories is one of the soul. He believes that the soul is the form of a living creation. In his text he identifies 5 different powers of the soul. The first one is the nutritive, which is the grow and the take of nourishment. The second one is the appetitive, which is the desire of a human body and soul. The third one is the sensory, which believes to be the senses that we carry, like the hearing, the taste, the eyes, and etc. The locomotive is the movement of which you do things. And the fifth one is the reasoning, which involves your reason or your mind. Another of Aristotle's theories is the human nature and happiness. Essential form of human being is the reason. Another one is that humans are rational animals. Another one is that the reason is the ability to separate form from matter to be the abstract form. An example would be to think of a table. When you think of a table, you don't think of what it's made of. You think about the illusion of one and how it looks like. You don't think about what it is made of, which would be the wood. And for this reason, he believes that the reason is what separates form from matter. Another idea or theory that Aristotle introduces us is the effects of causes. For example, this is Mr. Gillespie, and he believes that the parents are the efficient cause. The final cause would be teaching or happiness. The soul is a substance form of Mr. Gillespie. and the matter is the body. And this is all I got about Aristotle.
Thank you.
Sandra. I agree more with Aristotle saying that the soul and the body go in hand with each other, but I sort of believe that the soul and the body are both mortal, because obviously our body dies, and I don't believe that our soul keeps on going. I believe that after the soul is dead, that a spirit comes by, but that's just my opinion, and I think Plato's just totally wrong.
Stop. So, sorry for my ratchetness. It's Monday, and nobody does their hair on Mondays, so...